Hello everyone, this is card number 1 for our Floral Essence kit. This is a video that will show us unlisted because it's only for the people who have bought the Floral Essence card kit from me. And you will be making 12 cards for each of 3 designs in this kit. I've put everything out that I'm using just so that you can see what you're going to need. Now, you might choose to use a different adhesive to me. I'm using my liquid adhesive and my Stampin' Dimensionals, but you use whatever you have and whatever you like. These are the inks that I'm using. I'm using Poppy Parade, Granny Apple Green and Tuxedo Black. If you don't have these particular colours, any of the greens would work. Any that you have. If you're not quite sure, give me an email or something and just ask, and I can show you which other colours you could use. So I'm going to move these and I'm going to show you what you get in your kit and then which pieces you need. So this is the card that we're making for card number 1. And in your kit you will have your stamp set, which is photopolymer, it's the clear stamps. And you will have a pack that looks like this. And in this pack are the things for all 4 of the cards with this design. So you'll need to separate them out. And when you separate them, you will end up with this package. So you will have 1 green base in Granny Apple Green, 1 red layer, 1 larger white layer, which is the same size as the red layer, and 1 smaller white layer. And then, where have they gone? Oh, there they are, stuck inside. Then you will have 3 little sequins, an envelope, and 1 strip of Whisper White for your sentiments. Now, let me show you how we're going to put them together. There is a PDF with this set as well, so you can watch the videos, you can use the PDF, whatever works for you. Now our base is in Granny Apple Green and it's already cut and scored, so you need to look at the score line, and where it's the dint, that goes on the outside. Okay, and then you need the larger of the 2 white pieces, and this one is attached to the inside. Now because adhesive doesn't come in this set, you do just use whatever you want. If you have a liquid glue that you like, use that. If you use something like the snail or the seal, which is like a tape runner, use that by all means. Okay, now for the front, you're going to need the large red piece. And this is the Poppy Parade cardstock, such a pretty colour. And I thought it was best if I gave you a video as well, so that you could do a little bit and then stop and then do a little bit more and stop and just check that you were making yours the same way as I'd made mine. Okay, now that's our base made. We don't need that again for a little while. So now we're going to use that smaller white piece, and that's what we're going to do our stamping on. And I'm going to put the original at the side so you can see how I'd stamped it. And I've already put all the pieces I need on the blocks. So I've got this flower, which is the larger one here. These set of leaves here are these leaves. I've got the small leaf as well. And the black is this one. You see where it's not quite a circle. It's not the quarter piece like this one. It's just got a little dint out of it. And the other one that I've put on is the sentiment with friendly thoughts and best wishes today and every day. If you wanted to change that sentiment, go right ahead, change it for one that works for you. You don't even have to put it on a little piece of card. You can stamp it straight onto the cardstock if you want. Okay, so I've got my inks ready. I'm going to move that out of the way and just leave this card, so you can get an idea of how it's looking from just the pieces that I'm stamping. Okay, so here's that larger poppy. I'm just going to ink it up with my red Poppy Parade, and I'm going to put, one flower at the bottom left. I'm going to put one flower at the top right, and then I'm going to put another one in the middle. And I found that if you do the left, bottom, top, right, then you get them more evenly spaced, because you know just how much room you've got for that middle one. You can put it on a little angle, you can put it straight, whatever you want. Right, I'm just going to clean this, and today I'm only cleaning with wipes. So I know a lot of you use the wipes, so I'm just showing you how I would clean. You will have this stained as red, and that happens with all our red inks. So even the brown that has a little bit of red in, it will stain these photopolymer stamps, but it doesn't make any difference to them. They work just as well stained. Okay, next I'm going to do these little leaves. And so I started off with the big leaves. If you didn't want those, you could use this leaf stamp that's in the set as well. You just choose whatever works for you. I've got my Granny Apple Green ink, and that's only because my base was Granny Apple Green. But you could use the other greens with it. Okay, so I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm just going to put a few of the leaves on here. Okay, now over here it's going to come off the paper. So let me just get a little piece of scrap. Let me see, where have I got a little piece of scrap? I should have had one on my desk already, shouldn't I? Let's use this, as it is going to stamp off. And if you've got it stamping onto a piece of paper, that's great, but just make sure you haven't got it stamping onto your table. Okay, and then I'm just going to make it so that there's some of that leaf showing here, but not all of it. Okay, I'm going to quickly clean that because I don't want that one again. But I am going to stamp a couple with the smaller leaf. And honestly, you won't have two that look the same just because of where you've stamped your flowers and everything. They will come out looking just totally different. And you might decide that, you know, you don't actually want many of the leaves stamped, and that's fine as well. Really is just up to you. Just play with it and have fun with it. Okay, that's the only ones I'm putting on there. And I seem to have got a little bit of green ink here. But that's okay, because we'll cover that up with one of our little sequins. Okay, so I'm finished with the green. And then I've got my tuxedo black. And I've got that tiny little centre. I'm going to stamp it up with black. And the nice thing about photopolymer is that you can see through. So when you place it on your stamped image, you know exactly where it's going. And it just makes it easier to line up. Okay, and I'm going to clean that one. But while I've got the black out, I'm going to do my sentiment. Now your strip for sentiments, you will be able to fit all 4 on there. I'm only going to put 1 on because I'm not making all 4 cards right now. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure my card piece is straight. I'm just going to stand up so that I can make sure I can get this right in the middle. Oh, it's really hard to see without getting my head on the camera. Let's hope that that's straight. Yeah, that's straight enough. Okay, I'll just clean that one. I'm going to put this ink away because we don't need it. And with my scissors, I'm just going to cut a little bit off here. So I've still got enough for 3 more of these sentiments. And then to make that little banner piece, I'm just going to, at this right-hand side, I'm going to cut down a little bit with my scissors, and then I'm going to go from this corner to the middle and from the top corner into the middle, and it will give you that banner shape. Now, if you want to put a different shape on here, that's fine. or if you wanted to leave it square, that's fine as well. It really is however you want to make it. Mine are just an interpretation. You can make yours look however you want. Now let's go back to that card base here. This one we're just going to attach, and I'm going to use my liquid glue again when I see where I've hidden it. Here it is. It's a nice easy template, this, and if you look on the PDF, all the sizings are on there. So if you wanted to create the template to use again with a different set, you know what sizes all the card was, all the pieces that I used to send to you. Okay, now this little sentiment, I'm putting mine on with dimensionals, but you could attach it straight on like that, or like we said at the beginning, you could stamp it straight onto the cardstock. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to just pop 3 little dimensionals down here, just to keep it raised up. And again, if you wanted to make these a bit more fancy, you could add a ribbon, you could add different embellishments on there. You could make this with different colours. Okay, so I'm just going to pop mine on this top left here. And last of all, I'm going to add the 3 little sequins. And I'm going to use my pokey tool for that. I love this little pokey tool, which is the old pokey tool. If you have, if you have the new take a pick, let's take that lid off. Didn't want to come off, whoops. If you have this one, you can see that these unscrew and they've got different ends. So if this is the one you've got, that pokey tool there is just the same kind of thing as I've got here on the pokey tool. And I'll use this one just in case this is the one you've got. And remember I said there was that tiny, tiny little blob of ink there. Can I stick that on? No, nobody knows. And then just wherever you feel that you want to put your others. There we go. So there you are. That's card number 1. Watch for the next video for card number 2. Okay, I'll see you all again soon.